Film Mel Brooks does best, a deadly serious theme treated with touches of antic humor. I've known Mel Brooks since we were both lucky enough to be part of the golden age of television comedy back in the 1950s on Sid Caesar's TV shows. In the meantime, I've gone straight. You can look at me. But Mel Brooks, he has remained true to his calling. He is still out there seeing all of life as a comic opportunity.
The hardest thing in making a movie, the most difficult, I do everything. I'm a writer, I'm a director, I'm a producer, I'm an actor, I'm a singer, I'm a dancer. But the hardest thing about movies for me has always been the sprockets.
The sprockets?
Yeah, you sit up late at night, and at the side of the film, there are many of these little perforations, these holes, called sprockets. And I make them.
To put those
on
in?
my films, I stand with a clip, and I make them all night. And I save all the little dots of celluloid.
What do you do with that?
And they're used for something else I can't talk about on the air.
Jak to pić, sweet Georgie Brown. Daj za łusa, poleć fusa, sweet Georgie Brown.
Are these people singing Sweet Georgia Brown in Polish? Of course they are. This is a Mel Brooks film where we expect the unexpected. In this new film, titled To Be or Not to Be, Brooks co-stars for the first time with his wife, acclaimed actress Anne Bancroft.
We lost dobrze znasz, can't stop you much, okay.
You know, for years, I have been searching for a vehicle for me and my wife. I was going to get a Dodge. And I said, no, maybe a movie is better. So we looked all over vehicle, Dodge, get it, you Gentiles, very square, almost round. Hugh Downs, what was your name before it was Downs?
Even here, Brooks has seized the moment and turned it upside down, pointing the sword of his wit first at my background and then softening it by turning it back on his own.
Jews have no such luck with names. I mean, we don't get a Smith or a Downs or a Wheelwright or anything. We get Lubavitch, Machalubich, Pibibinski, Gagaguga, Cohen, you're lucky. People used to come from Europe and change their name to Cohen because they thought that was American.
There is always a surprise in store for us from this man. Brooks builds upon basic vaudevillian roots, using sight gags, music, flamboyant costumes, split-second timing, and always experimenting with film technique. Who else would make a silent movie 50 years after the advent of talkies? Brooks has said that a comic filmmaker has to do everything that a dramatic one does. Give us believable characters with a viable storyline, plus something extra. Make us laugh.
I feel that when I'm on a set and I'm in the middle of a scene, I always stop for a minute and I envision a packed house and a darkened auditorium and a silver screen bathed in light, and they're watching what we're doing. And they're either saying, this is no good, we got rooked, or they're saying, thank you, that's wonderful.
Because Brooks' vision is both so passionate and so personal, he involves himself in every aspect of his craft to protect that vision. As producer and star of To Be or Not to Be, he is conferring with director Alan Johnson about the placement of some German troops. These soldiers are about to march across this Hollywood backlot, which has been transformed into the streets of Warsaw in 1939. To create the bittersweet mood of this new film, Brooks had to cross back and forth between comedic and dramatic territories. To give a newsreel effect to this particular scene, black and white was chosen.
What we tried to do was include some deeper aspects of the German invasion of Poland. The rounding up of Jews, the rounding up of homosexuals, the oppression of the Polish people, and also the complications in the actor's psyche. And we worked very hard to get that kind of wonderful meld of hysterical laughter and getting her close to tears. And I think we did it.
Heil myself! Have you read the foreign papers?
In this scene from To Be or Not to Be, we are transported to pure Brooks land, a bold madcap place in which we are invited and even dared to laugh at anything and anyone.
I don't want war. All I want is peace. 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 A little piece of Poland, a little piece of France, a little piece of Portugal, and
chant.
Brooks' obsession with Nazis began long ago.
Springtime for Hitler and Germany. Deutschland is happy and gay.
This lavish production number from The Producers, the first feature that he wrote and directed, is a classic example of comedy with a purpose, using bold comic weaponry to bring the enemy down to size.
Springtime for Hitler and Germany. Winter for Poland and France.
Brooks' targets are never random. For good comedy, like good drama, is built on a strong philosophical base.
Because a lot of comedy films are quite serious. And the subjects they tackle are serious. Like even silly, crazy films like Blazing Saddles had, racial prejudice at its nub for us to use to enlighten.
Take an ordinary-looking town from any film western, with ordinary citizens waiting to welcome their new sheriff. But add the element of surprise, he's black, and pull no punches on the punchline.
As chairman of the welcoming committee, it is my privilege to extend a laurel and hearty handshake to our new nigger.
The result? A perfect Brooksian moment, executed with his uncanny sense of comedic timing.
A movie is a collection of frames. You get it down to frames. If a frame doesn't work, suddenly the audience is cooled off. If the next minute doesn't work, the audience is chilled. And you've got to fight like a tiger to get them back into the movie. It is the most difficult. It's not like vaudeville or a Broadway play where you can change the tenor, the texture of an audience's appreciation in a matter of seconds. In a film, it takes minutes to win them back. Therefore, you must not lose them.
Will you get a hold of yourself? Don't touch me, don't touch me.
What you're trying to do in a film, you literally sit the audience down and feed them information. Bialystok and Bloom, the producers. Bloom is in a corner. He's hysterical. Bialystok slaps him. He says, don't hit me. It throws water on him. I'm wet and I'm still hysterical.
I'm wet. I'm wet. I'm hysterical and I'm wet. I'm in pain and I'm wet. And I'm still hysterical. No, don't hit it. It doesn't help. It only increases my sense of danger.
If you've planned something hysterically funny and they ain't laughing, you've got what is known in our business as a failure.